Hey all, Tony Bing here, hello and welcome back to our Envoy news update for Marvel Strike Force. Now before we jump into the wealth of information we have tonight, quick disclaimer as always, although I'm part of the Envoy programme, I'm not in any way affiliated or work for Marvel or Fox next. So with that out the way, what have we got to show off tonight? So firstly we have some gameplay footage of Mysterio. It looks absolutely awesome. What I presume to be his ultimate is potentially one of my favourite skills in the game now. It really does look incredible and we'll see that in just a moment. We also have the full kit for the 3 Sinister Six characters that have already been announced, so that's Vulture, Shocker and Rhino, and we actually have details on their tags as well. So we're going to jump in and start off with the Mysterio gameplay footage. So it's just a short clip we have here, but allows us to see all of his skills and also his entrance animation as well. Model wise, I really do like the look of him. So this skill here, we see it twice. I'm pretty sure this is going to be his basic, given the animation. Once he's cast this a second time, then it's followed up with what I assume to be the ultimate. It looks absolutely amazing. It reminds me a bit of the boss fights when you went up against Scarecrow in the Batman Arkham games. There we go. Look at that. Awesome, absolutely love that. And then the final move we have, this could be the special. This one is very similar to the move he actually does in the trailer for the upcoming Spider-Man movie. So that's Mysterio. Let's actually jump in now and look at the full kit for a character. And the first one we'll start off with will be Shocker. Just before we do go in and have a look at Shocker's kit, I will mention that with the reveal of Mysterio, that means we now have 5 Sinister Six characters in the game. So we've got Vulture, Green Goblin, Rhino, Mysterio and also Shocker as well. So really fingers crossed that the 5 of them will in time lead to a Legends event for Dr. Octopus. That's what I'm certainly hoping for. It would make sense in my mind and it would be absolutely awesome as well, having Doc Ock leading them all. But let's jump in and have a look at Shocker. So if we look at his tags first, it's Villain, City, Tech. So Tech tag's always a nice one to have. Blaster, Spider-Verse and Sinister Six as well. We then have his skills. The first one, the basic, is called Concussion Bolt. So with this one here, you attack primary target is for a full 280% piercing damage, that will negate armour, and on target dodge, you apply assist now to a random Sinister Six ally. So if the likes of Spidey has that audacity to dodge, or even Daredevil, because they are good against city hero enemies, then you'll just follow up with another Sinister Six ally. They could dodge it, but chances are they'll hopefully hit them. We've then got the special. This one here, it takes 5 turns to charge, comes fully charged. Not fully understanding the tooltip for this one. It's called Sonic Dissonance. Now, the fact you can use it turn number 1 and it's fully charged, you generate 1 ability energy for self, but when we look at the ultimate, that's available in turn number 2 anyway. So I'm not really sure of the reasoning behind this, and it could be something that's changed before it goes live. But on top of the ability energy that you are generating for yourself, you apply a fence up to self for 2 turns, so that's pretty nice, and you apply a fence up to all Sinister Six allies, and you charge your own speed bar by 80%. So you use this and then near enough, a moment later you'll be back in the game due to the huge 80% speed bar that you are gaining, and you'll be back in the game with a fence up as well. We then have Subsonic Blast. This one is 6 turns to charge. It looks like you can use it turn number 2. So with this you attack primary and all adjacent targets for 120% piercing, which isn't a lot, but if we look at what else it does, you'll repeat the attack using a new primary target randomly chosen from the previous secondary targets, and then you repeat the attack a 3rd time using a new primary target once again. So it's a bit like M'Baku's ultimate, in that if you get a kill it will then start the chain again in a way. So this will be an interesting one to see. We then have the passive. This is called Vibro-Shock. So this one gives them a bit more survivability. So you'll gain 20% armour when this is maxed out, and you gain 5% armour per Sinister Six allies. That means in total you could gain up to 40% armour, which is a pretty nice amount. Also with this you'll gain 20% damage, and you gain 5% damage per city hero enemy that you're actually facing up against. So you could go up against 5 of them, meaning you could get an additional 45% damage, which once again is a fair amount in there. So it looks like an interesting character. He doesn't look game breaking or anything like that, but to be honest I would rather characters come out balanced than be game breaking. So that's Shocker, and let's now have a look at Rhino. With Rhino being introduced then at last, we have a protector class for the Spider-Verse team, something they were sorely missing. Now if we look at his tags, it's Villain, City, Bio, Protector, Spider-Verse and Sinister Six, so nothing that really stands out there. His basic is called Pummel. This one here, you attack primary target for 290% damage, so that's simple enough. You then have his special, which takes 4 turns to charge and comes fully charged. It's Furious Charge it's called. From the gameplay footage we've had, it's either this one here or the ultimate, where the animation is exactly the same as Juggernaut's charge, so I'm hoping that's just a placeholder, because it would be really disappointing to see an identical charge being used, because you could really come up with an interesting one for Rhino. But this here, so it's Furious Charge, you gain taunt when you cast this, and that's really par for the course with protector classes. It is only 1 turn of taunt, and your stronger tanks can generally taunt for 2, or if you're Colossus you can taunt for up to, I think it's 3 or 4. Also with this, you clear 1 negative effect from self and each adjacent ally. 1 negative effect in the grand scheme of things now with the number of debuffs we get isn't really that much at all, and I don't think it'll be that effective. And then you attack primary and all adjacent targets for 350% damage, and the attack cannot be blocked. So if the other team has deflect up, then it won't actually make any difference with this. Now the one thing I'm thinking about when I look at his kit, he's got the charge, which is really nice. It's very similar to Juggernaut, but the difference with Juggernaut is that it has Magneto to pull everyone together, so the charge just about hits everyone. Spider-Verse don't have that, so in most instances the charge will be hitting at a maximum 3 characters, so that's just something to bear in mind there. But if you look at the ultimate next, this one here is 5 turns to charge and comes fully charged, so you have the option of using it turn number 1 as well if you don't feel you need a taunt. But this is called Stampede. So with this, you attack primary and all adjacent targets for 380% damage, and this attack gains 20% damage per city, hero, enemy, so up to 5 of them, which means you could do 480 damage in turn number 1, which is pretty nice. But again, you don't have mags really in the Sinister Six team. We don't have them at all in the Sinister Six team, so you're not pulling the characters together, so that does limit this a little bit. If we look at the passive, it's called Rhino Hide. With this one, on spawn you gain counter, you gain 25% max health per Sinister Six ally, so that's an additional 100% max health you could get in a full Sinister Six team, so that's really pretty huge. But I think it's offset by the fact that his taunt only lasts for 1 turn. It doesn't matter if you get high health pool if nobody's attacking you. Now also with him, on blind you charge speed bar by 100%, so I need to find out if it overcharges it the way some of the other characters work. I'm pretty sure it will, given the wording here. So go up against the Brotherhood, Magneto will blind you turn number 1, and then with this on blind you also clear 1 negative effect, so you'll be clearing that blind from yourself and each ally. So the way it works, if you go up against Brotherhood, Magneto casts his blind, although if you were actually going up against them, then you could use the special and go for the disrupted instead. But if you're going up against AI, Magneto casts the blind, Juggernaut then gets a full speed bar, he clears it from all the characters. Doesn't really make sense for a character that he's able to do that, but I suppose it's a way to counteract Brotherhood. And then from there you've got the choice of using the special or the ultimate. So he's an interesting character, another one like Shocker that I don't think he's really going to change the game the way some of the more recent releases have. But again, I don't want to see the power creep keep going up in the game, so I'm happy for characters to come out like this. But that is Rhino, so one more character to look at and it will be Vulture. With Vulture we have the final character that we have the kit available for, so in future we'll hopefully get the full kit for Mysterio to look over. But if we look at his tags here for Vulture, it's Villain, City, Tech, Brawler, Spider-Verse and Sinister Six. His first skill, the basic, is Lift Off, so with this you attack primary target for 250% damage and an additional 40% damage per negative effect on him, so that could really ramp up depending on the team that you're going up against. For the special, this is called Fight and Flight. It's 4 turns to charge and comes fully charged this one, so you can and you will most likely be using it turn number 1. But with this, you attack primary and all adjacent targets for 300% damage. You apply slow. If target is a city hero, you apply a fence down for 2 turns. Now for me, when you look at this and the passive combined, This is set up to counteract Punisher, because the Sinister Six team are set up to be a counter to the City Hero team, but Punisher absolutely melts villains, so there has to be a way to neutralise him, and it looks like Vulture's set up for that. So on the first turn you will be applying a fence down, and you'll be applying it to Punisher to slow down his damage there when he casts that ultimate. Now, available turn number 2, this one takes 6 turns to charge and comes with 5 charges. It's Supersonic, his ultimate. With this you attack all enemies for 320% damage, so that's nice that you're hitting everyone, and you change the speed bar on them by 25%, so that's pretty decent there. And then finally we have the passive, which is Scavenger. So with this one, on spawn you fill 10% speed bar, you fill 10% speed bar per City Hero enemy, so I'm not sure what Vulture's speed is, but this would allow him to go before Punisher, so that way you can actually use the special and apply that offence down to him. So that's definitely the setup there from what I can see. Also with the passive, on ally death you gain deflect, on enemy death you change speed bar by 25%, so that's a bit similar to Carnage's passive, and also you gain 10% block chance for each City Hero enemy, so that would take you up to 50% block chance there when it's a full team that you are going up against. So that's the kit for the 3 upcoming characters. They look so-so, to be honest, but again, as I've mentioned already, I don't want them to keep pushing out characters that are stronger with every single release, because it just leaves some of the older characters more far behind. So I'm happy to see this actually happen, although we still do have Mysterio, and I think they have to bring out a legendary character in time. We've got 5 Sinister Six characters that are probably going to be pretty difficult to farm, so it has to be a legendary, it has to be Dr. Octopus. I can't see in any way that they wouldn't actually go for that setup. It would just make so much sense, and when he comes out, potentially him alongside Mysterio as well could really make the team more powerful. That's maybe the part of the puzzle we're not seeing, but for now, interesting team, but I wouldn't say they're one that are must have like the likes of the X-Men that are coming out. They're a team that you definitely want to go hard on, but it's absolutely awesome to see the Sinister Six characters in the game. I just wish we had classic Goblin and also Sandman. Hopefully we'll see him at some point. But I hope this video has been helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below of everything I've shown off today, and thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all again soon.